Hi everybody, it's Terry. I'm gonna do a really quick craft. Um, these picture frames are the ones that have the um, I don't know what you call it, grooved or grained. It's actually plastic, but it's supposed to look like grained wood. And I'm gonna take these, and I've seen a lot of crafters, they put these together and then they make put a wreath in the middle or whatever, but I want to keep them as photo frames. But I'm going to take these and I'm going to paint them black with black chalk paint, and I'm going to make sure that I get inside those grooves really well. Well, actually you can use acrylic paint, but I'm going to get in there really well, let them dry for a long period of time, and then go over them with the white um, foam brush with chalk paint, and just barely graze the surface so that it's actually black in the center instead of brown. So that would be very farmhouse. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so you can see I got way too much paint on the first two frames, and it lasted all the way through all four frames. Um, but you want to make sure that the paint goes down into these grooves. If I get this back down here. And around all the sides, the inside, and I grabbed by these little pieces here that helped me paint. But anyways, we want it down in those grooves completely, so that when we go over it with the white paint, um, we're just going to set on top, so it's going to emphasize all of those grooves. And you could have done it with the brown if you'd rather do brown. You could have done any color. So if the walls in your bathroom are light blue, you could have done a darker blue, or yellow, or anything you wanted to do, like a dark blue at the base, and then like a light yellow on top or something like that. But I'm going to do black and white because I'm going to black and white decor. So anyway, alright, we'll be back when they're dry. Okay, I'm back, and my frames are painted. I mean dry. Dirt. So I watched some of my videos. Of course I watch my videos. I gotta edit them. And one thing that I do when I'm doing a whatever you call this, real-time video is every time I get back on, I say, okay, everyone, or okay, so I do it almost every time. So you could actually probably do a drinking game with that. Which, by the way, in January I will have 12 years clean from alcohol, or sober, not from alcohol, but sober. That's kind of a long story there, but I haven't partaken for quite a while of anything with the intention of getting drunk. I've had a drink with a meal here and there, but I have 12 years, and I feel like I'm in no danger of having a drink with getting drunk. I don't want to ever get drunk again. I don't ever want to have a hangover. Okay, linen white Rust-Oleum chalk paint. Now I saw, and in February of next year I will have 20 years drug-free. So, non-prescription drug-free. So that's a big milestone. I am very proud of that. I don't know why I'm more proud of that than I am of the drinking. I just am. Okay, so I saw Sammy from Unicorn Dust Design, where she takes and she paints her sponge brush, as not to get too much to go into the grooves on this. I've never done it before, so here we go. I'm just going to paint this. I don't know how much to get on there, so let me just do this and give her a try. Today is Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving. Oh, look at that. Fantastic. So okay, it worked. So take and brush some paint on, and try to make it even on the thing, because you can see where at the top there it wasn't even. So just take it, set it down flat, and then rub it along. I'm a little bit uneven, but you don't want any gushing paint, because it's going to go right down into those grooves that we wanted black. So just take it easy. Go light-handed with it. Make sure we don't have any glue globs. Jeeps. I just got up. I mean, literally, it's Thanksgiving Day. I got up because I need to get a head start on, things. So this is actually my wake-up time. Okay, so just set it on there and rub it along flatly. And then go back over wherever you missed. Being very careful not to get too much glue. Let's see if we can do it without... Yep, look at that. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Okay, so I wanted to do... First of all, this is the first time I've tried this, so I wanted to, see if it was going to work this way. And it obviously does. But I wanted to paint mine first before I put them together, and then after we put the frames together, we'll figure out where we might need white paint on the outsides of the frames. So I'm not just going to go ahead and paint the outsides of the frames. I'm going to wait and see where it actually needs it. This is plastic for one thing. I'm not even sure how well the paint is going to stay on here. This seems to be really great. It took the acrylic paint really well. I'm pleasantly surprised. Okay, so anyways, just rub it along. You don't have to push hard. And then just kind of swipe back for where you can see that you missed. I'm gonna try it again with a different. Like I started with the tip of my brush, and now I'm using the bottom part of that. So I got too much there. A little bit too much in here. Okay, so don't push hard. I pushed a little bit too hard. Move that along there. A little bit too much. So, there's a lesson. You don't have to push hard. I pushed a little bit too hard. So paint your sponge, and then go over it lightly. However you do it, just put it down, go over it, and then come back and touch up a little bit. I'm just lightly, very lightly going over it. So if you push super hard, you're going to end up with too much, like I did here on this end. I actually had, is that right? Yeah, so I actually got it down into the grooves here, and down along this edge right here. So, but it's not ruined. It's not ruined by any stretch. This Rust-Oleum chalk paint, I'll tell you, it's my first attempt at chalk paint. First attempt. My first time with chalk paint. And I love it. I may never go back to regular paint again. And this Rust-Oleum, you know, I don't know how it is compared to, you know, like a Waverly chalk paint or Apple Barrel. I don't know if they even make chalk paint, but I don't know how it compares. But it's good. It's my favorite paint now. It's my chalk paint. I bought the chalk board paint for the black paint at Dollar Tree, and that stuff is just amazing too. You put it on a candlestick or glass and it just stays. Okay, paint the other two frames. I don't know that you can see this real well, but right here I have a little line where I brought the brush down this way, or I've come this way, and it's left just that little bitty line right there. So all you have to do is don't put any fresh paint on, just kind of go over it with your brush getting drier or whatever. And you can see up here I have two different ways for the brush strokes. So just do the same thing, just kind of blend them. Don't put any fresh paint on your brush because you don't want to get too much, too much white on there. So I've noticed that each one of my picture frames is a little bit different. Some are a little wider than others. If you want to fix that, you can. I think it's going to add to the farmhouse look. So here I'm going to take and add just a little bit, make it a little more white down the sides, and then kind of uneven, because it looks fantastic. Look at that, how pretty that is. So here I have a few brush marks, I guess you would call them. So anyways, these are going to be beautiful. Okay, so since these are Dollar Tree frames, they are not all created equal. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate the fact that they were $1. But if you see here, I've got them lined up on this end, and you can see kind of that this one, let's get them lined up again here. This one is a little bit longer than the other. So my goal is to have the center together. I want to make sure that the center is going to match up. So not so much the outsides, because you're not going to notice those. Now we have so many options here. We can turn one particular frame around. I took out everything out from underneath these, so I would have my little gadget sticking out further than the rest on this one here, so it's making them lopsided. But anyways, my goal is the center point. So what I'm going to do is play around with these. I know I put this exactly the way it was when I started, to lose a gap. See this little gap right here? So I have a gap on that end, but it matches up perfectly down here. So I need to lose that gap here. So play around with these just a little bit and try to make, and it could just be this frame itself, you know, causing me trouble. That's a little bit better there. So I'm going to leave it like that and then try a different frame. So we could do all this and we could get this to where it matches up so nicely, only to find out that my next two won't match up. So, you know, it's kind of give or take. Okay, so that one matches up fairly nicely. Let's try these two. See what we get here. Once we get a good matchup, we want to keep it. Now, this I want to match perfectly. One thing that we do have kind of an optical illusion with the black and white pieces. So it's going to make it look like it's separated when it might not be, you know, yada yada yada. Okay, so if you get them matched up well, then we want to put them all together to see how it looks in this intersection. Not terrible, but not the best. So I'm going to take, flip it around, and then put these back together again to see how they're going to line up. So this part here, okay. So something is causing I think this is good right here. What do you think? So now we have to get these together. So remembering that this is the side we want flat. So I'm going to take my Crafter's Closet glue, which is, it's got a really fast set time. So it's multi-surface, long-lasting, and a strong bond. And I agree with every one of those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set these aside exactly the way that they are, so I don't get confused on which way they went, which way I want them to go. I'm going to pull these closer, and remember that this is the side that I want even. So if I can get both ends even, that's a plus, but I'm worried about this end. So I'm going to use this glue in different spots here. Hope you can see it here. Kind of dark, isn't it? Put some here. And then for the quick set, I'm going to use hot glue. So I don't know how well this stuff works with, if it touches the hot glue. I know a lot of them don't work. Let me move my camera up a little bit because I've already shown you what I want them to do. So let's come up here. We're just going to work on them two at a time now. Okay, so I'm just going to dab some hot glue on. And remember, if it doesn't set up right, tear it apart. It's not going to hurt to have to tear it apart. I don't want glue on the outside. I just want it to be even down here on this end. And like I said, if you can get both sides, that's wonderful. And they're uneven because of those tabs. Okay, I did not get the bond that I wanted. So, just pick your hot glue off if you have to. Hopefully you do better than I. One mistake that I made was I knew that I wanted this end to be the star, my star corner there, and I didn't put hot glue on that end, so that was my bad. And one frame was up higher than the other, so pick this hot glue off. That's all I'm doing, and I'll be back to reglue. Okay, so this Crafter's Closet glue is already tacking, so I'm just going to put a couple dabs of hot glue here and there, and this time I'm going to leave it alone, let it dry, make sure this end is even, push, push, perfect. And now we'll have to reinforce it at some point, but that's what we're going to do with the other ones, remembering which corner, which the way I set them was this corner is going to be matched up with this. So I'm going to put the two pieces together and then put all four pieces. My frames are all, the glue's dried, and they turned out pretty even. I got a little bit of a lip right there, so I mean it's small. I don't know that you can see it here behind my finger there. It's got a small lip. This side's a little bit higher than the other side, but you're not going to see that. You're just not going to notice that. I mean, look how pretty the frames are. It's going to take the now this one's the same. This slightly higher, so that it's, you know, it's a Dollar Tree frame, but we focused on the center part so that we could, you know, put our best foot forward, and this is going to come out nicely here. We're slightly off. Now remember, you can always do, I don't want to do this, you can always go this way, which is probably how I decided I was going to do it. What's my pictures look like? Okay, so doesn't matter, does it? That was kind of silly. No matter which way I do it, I can just turn the frame around sideways. So anyways, just look for your best matchup in the center, and here I think I have it with this. So we're going to use our airplane glue, Crafter's Closet, and so we have this not laying completely flat. I don't want that to interfere with the frames matching up. So I'm just taking these little tabs and pushing them down a little bit, making sure that they are not going to be, you know, influencing our master plan. Something's still up here. Okay, so we want to make sure our hot glue is hot, which mine is not quite hot yet. Yeah, I seem to be having trouble here. I kind of blowed out a little bit. So when I put my glue on and get this together, I'm going to have to hold it down in the center. It may just be glue here on the back side, but it's been too long since I put this glue on. Thanksgiving has came and went, and my husband and I spent the whole day yesterday, today's Saturday, We spent the whole day yesterday out shopping. You don't really have to fight crowds anymore like you used to, but I want to tell you something. We went to Kohl's in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and the line was so long. It went all the way from the checkout all the way around the whole back side, the whole side, and then the back side, the whole back side of the store. It was quite ridiculous. Okay, so I know I'm having trouble with these ends, so I want to make sure I get hot glue on these. So just put some of your glue down, different spots. And put some right here in the center. But so you gotta be careful so that your glue doesn't start to run while you're waiting, or while you're doing it, I should say, not waiting. Make sure I didn't get any on the front, which I did a little bit. Not batting strikes right now. Okay. I don't know what that meant. Alright, so I know I need it on the end, but I got a little bit of glue down on that end, so I'm going to put some here, and then come down here to the end. Like that. Put it together as quickly and as straight as possible. Push my ends down, which brought up a lot of hot glue. And I'm stuck to my table. Get that hot glue off of there as quick as you can. See, one thing about these tubes of glue, if it's not leaking, you can just sit it down there, but a lot of times you have to stop and put the lid on it because it'll just sit there and gush out. E6000 is the glue that I really have trouble with. This glue is not so bad for that. Okay, so make sure that we got all the gushed glue out. We don't want that to be on our picture frame. So what I did was I went upstairs and I grabbed I grabbed 4 pictures, and they're just random pictures. I just went up to where I knew I had some pictures laying, grabbed 4. There's no rhyme or reason to them. You know, I didn't say, well, let me get all the grandkids, and actually there's no grandkids in the picture at all, but I didn't do that. Eventually it's going to be a picture of, I have 8 kids in 4 frames, so I thought about, I can do them when they're doubled up in here. You know, one of Ashley and David, one of Zach and Cody, one of Bradley and Christian, one of Sean and Jake, or however they happen to you know, be doubled up in the pictures. So I did pick pictures. Let's make sure we don't have a lot of gush in here. And we don't. It's pretty good. Pick off the glue underneath us. And it's pretty important. Maybe not for on the camera, but it is important. Okay, so I bought this pack of paper at, it's called 2430. This thrift store, not thrift, it's a discount store. So I got this for $4. I don't know how much they cost regularly. Probably not a lot more than that, but I saw it, it was there, I saw it, and I decided that I was going to buy one. Now on these, for my picture frames, I can only get 3 off of one of these, I think. So, one thing you know good about these packs of papers is that you can pick. Do you want a small design? Do you want the big design? They're all like that. said, it doesn't matter which side you go on. Now when I tore these frames apart, I took these papers out and threw them away, but the reality is I need them. So let me come down here. And yeah, so I can only get 2 here. I'll be able to get 1 here. So I'll be able to get 3 out of each one. So, you know, it's a square piece of paper. So what we're going to do is take our pencils and trace these out. Get all 3 of them. You'll have to get another sheet for the 4th one. Okay, so I actually got the 4th piece out. I didn't think it was going to be big enough, but it turns out that it does fit within that frame. So, I need to know which one it is. Excuse me. Can't even tell you which one it is now. Oh well, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take our glue stick and our pictures. But since these aren't the pictures that I really want to choose to be this Rodney, my mom, Jacob, and Christian. And Rodney and Christian are the 2 that have passed away. Anyway, there's me and Christian, the youngest. All 4 of the boys that I gave birth to. And the Mosby clan there. Not all of them, of course. But since these aren't the pictures that I planned on putting there, I'm going to just take a piece of tape. If I can find my tape, I looked for my tape the other day. I think maybe one of my granddaughters may have gotten it. Okay, so I don't want to ruin the picture. You know, at all. So I'd rather make copies before I, you know, do something permanent. Pictures are precious around here, you know, especially when you lose loved ones. If you have pictures of your moms or your dads, or, you know. So I'm just going to put a piece of tape on it. And then you decide, do you want the big background or the small background? I decided to do 2 of each. So I'm just going to place this into the center here of each one. So 2 small, 2 big. Then kind of set them up catty corner from each other. And this is perfect too. I mean, this is going to stay. You probably don't even need to do anything else, but you can glue it or, you know, Mod Podge, whatever. Let's try to get it even here. So it might be best to put it on the picture as opposed to the, you know, scrap of paper. There. Make sure it is where it needs to be. So those were the 2 big sides, and I'm going to do the 2 small sides. I did get a fix for my video editor. So after this video, I will go back to the where you video it and turn the sound off and then edit. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to go back to editing my videos and doing voiceovers because it takes so long. These videos turn out so long when you're talking all the way through it. And I'm sure people don't really want to hear somebody rambling on for an hour when they can, you know, watch the video in 20 minutes and just hear somebody rambling on for 20 minutes. Okay, so we get our picture frame back, upside down. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, so we want our small design. So when we look at the back, we should have, in our tabs out, when we look at our back, we should have this a little bit big. We should have big, big. Make sure our pictures are right side up. I have done, I can't tell you how many times I've gotten pictures up all put together and ready to be up just to realize that the pictures ran upside down. Anyways, oh, did I bend those down? No, I have to have them up. We have to have them up. So anyways, big side, and then small side. I don't know why I say small side, small picture, small squares, and then the same thing. Here. This one's a little big, it looks like. I might have to trim it down just a little bit. Okay, anyway, if you didn't see me forget to put the glass in, wasn't that funny? Like, what the heck are you doing here? Okay, so here's what I got. I hope you like it. Thank you for watching the video. This is going to look really nice hanging up on the wall. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you. Please hit like and subscribe if you like my videos. I always forget to tell you how to hang it. Anyways, we already have these little hangers right here. So these will be perfect. Now, it's going to be too bulky to hang, so you're probably going to have to tear these off. Which I will do later. But you're going to tear these off. And then you have these hangers, and if you had decided to do it lengthwise, you just move your hangers around the way that you need them. So they'll definitely hang whichever direction you want them to hang. Okay, thank you so much.